I am going to paint a skull a bunch of times on a chungus old canvas. I haven't done a painting project in a while, and especially a nice chungus, a big old painting. Yeah! I also like the idea of slowly chipping away at something like a bigger project. It feels good to me to always have something to work on top of all the other things I do. Weird Comfort. One of my favorite artists, Andrew Kadima. On Instagram, you probably know him. He's amazing. He does all these really cool monochrome or grisaille paintings, small and multiple places on a canvas, and it's just amazing. You gotta check him out. And I'm gonna take one out of his book. I've had this really nice canvas panel in my storage closet for a while. It's nice and big, very chunky, and I think it's perfect for this project. I also have this skull. This is the Proco skull magnetic jaw. It is just unbelievable. I don't know if these are still available, but I'll link it if it is. It has this nice threaded insert so you could put it on tripods, and I'm gonna take a bunch of photos of this skull in different lighting situations, in different angles, so that I'll have just a myriad of different reference photos so I can sort of place these skulls wherever I want on this giant canvas. And that's the plan. Subscribe for more awesome art projects. Not chunky enough. Very chunky. 3 feet by 3 feet, wooden panel. Very nice. I think this has been in that storage closet for like over a year and a half. Neglected. You need some love, baby. Come on in the new painting studio. I've recently renovated this. Check out the video if you want. There's still crap everywhere. I'm still organizing. Nice old panel. Ready for the pickings. So this is 36 by 36 inches. That's not sharp. 36 by 36 inches, just a gorgeous 3 feet by 3 feet wooden panel. Good news is it hasn't warped at all because it's been sitting for quite a while. First step is to tape the edges. I like to expose the wood at the end, a nice 1.5 inch margin, and then gesso prep the surface. While the gesso dries, we're gonna go set up the photo shoot. Go on, Dan, let's go take some photos. And because Proco blessed us with these thread holes, I'm able to put this on this Insta360 mount and have a really nice sort of controlled hole for taking photos, and then this will be attached to the tripod like so, and I'll just be able to move it however I want, and that's really nice. Why am I using a pink background? Also, it's because I'm gonna convert everything to black and white, and the pink is actually just a tad bit darker than my white backdrop, so it will act as more of a neutral gray with the final black and white photo, which I just like a little more. We're just talking about values here, values everywhere. Photo shoot on the painting, we're talking about values. This is the weirdest setup ever. Also bringing this light in for some rim light and different light angles. Can I get an extension cord up in this mofk? Bring. Set up the first shot. This photo shoot went great. I love photography. I actually put all the assets for photo shoots for paintings on Patreon, so if you want to check out more of them and download and paint them yourself, go ahead and check that link out in the description. But here is one of my favorites. This reminds me of the shadow box painting I did with this skull and like a candle I made back in my old studio. Oh, how times have changed. A viewer actually bought that painting, which is so cool. Hopefully we can make some magic again. In order to create thy magic, I like to do a little oil ground of this neutral gray, which is gonna come in handy later, just to get rid of the white. I'm doing a French cleat here just to attach to my wall because this is a big canvas and I'll be going up and down like I do, as well as prepping this project with some visualization. Our Lord and Savior frog tape. So I'm just here visualizing. This is gonna be the biggest one. Everything's gonna be smaller than that. But I just think visualizing is important. You know, these aren't final places. I want this to be random placement, and that's just the goal. This is just for me to visualize how many I think I need to do. I want to do at least 20. So I'm just trying to visualize. Again, this is pure visual speculation, trying to size up what I'm gonna do. Let's back up here. This is a big canvas. Yeah! The way I'm laying out the oil paint to be strategized and efficient, which I realized midway through this project I was in over my head with how much work. I set up the values in 5 different, kind of stages. We have the darkest value, and then 3 middle tones, and then the lightest value. And that's how I was kind of doing it for all these, monochromatic skulls, the idea. And, actually this red one was my worst mixture, I think, and I learned a lot. I didn't go dark enough in the eyes, but moving forward. I'm running out of time and I gotta paint so much still. I feel like I'm either never rushed or not rushed and I could procrastinate for months to finish a painting, or I'm strictly out of time and I have to cram 9-hour painting days back to back to back. Anyways, we gotta talk about the sponsor of today's video that makes me able to make these videos free online. Squarespace is the best website to build a website. As a full-time artist, websites are extremely important, not just for artists, but for small businesses, any entrepreneurship, or just showcasing your craft in a portfolio manner. I built a website using Squarespace for my art school, Studio Slew, because it has award-winning templates, 24-hour customer service, and it is just by far the most professional and easy way to build a website. I needed scheduling access on my website for people to book classes online. They had that built into their platform. They have third-party extensions for any business tools, e-commerce needs. It is just vast and powerful. It's also just the easiest thing to do, drag and drop system. It's just incredibly accessible for any type of person. So check out Squarespace. You can get a free trial over there. And when you're ready to buy a domain and build a website, you can go to squarespace.com/slew for 10% off. There's just something so iconic about a skull. I don't know what it is. I'm looking around my studio actually right now, and I've painted skulls pretty consistently. Murals in my old studio. I don't know. There's just something super iconographic about it. It's like recognized globally, I guess, as symbol for death, or there was pirates. But it's sort of the, chicken wire of our brain, of our face, which makes up humanity, which is the great, iconographic image, a human. So it's sort of the headpiece to the human. Maybe this is a stretch of a rant, but I don't know. I was just thinking about it, and I think it's awesome. Maybe we'll take a great break from painting skulls, but man, they're epic. Enter the production center. We're going live right now on Patreon. I got 2 cameras. I'm streaming, hello, and I'm doing a hyperlapse. So this is just like the craziest setup I've had in this room so far. Cables, cords, computers, and cameras, but pretty epic. Let's go. It was at this point where I put in about 4 or 5 hours already, and I was like, wow, I am not even 30% really done. I have so much work to do, and I was like, this is gonna take way longer than I thought. And I made it already with the size of these skulls that I couldn't do less than 20, or else the placement wouldn't work. If I started bigger, yeah, I could do less skulls, but at this point I was sort of locked in to getting 20 or surpassing 20 with like a balanced composition, and it placed all nicely. So I was like, oh man, this is a lot. Long day of painting. We're about halfway, and I think it's interesting to say that, I'm pretty sick of painting skulls at this point. It's paint by numbers basically right now. The creative aspect of this whole project is sort of the composition of arranging a bunch of skulls in different colors, but the actual grunt work of painting all of them isn't very interesting. So hopefully you find this interesting. I think the payoff will be good. I'm gonna do a cool sort of like rainbow of these small skulls. So it's gonna be like red, orange, yellow, green, rainbow, to try to mix it up, try to make it as random as possible. The placement of shapes, but also the balance of colors. So it's kind of fun in that sense. But other than that, we're just painting skulls, and we have a lot more to paint. Update, it's about 5:30 on Monday PM, and I have 11 skulls left to paint between 30 and an hour and 20 minutes to paint each one. Wednesday morning, I'm traveling. I'm gone Wednesday morning from the studio. So I have to finish this entire painting, which, by the way, the video files so far just for these 12 already painted is about 750 gigabytes. And I'm only 25% done with the video. So I have to paint all of this and then edit the video with voiceovers, effects, B-roll, the sponsorship, blah, blah, blah. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you a play-by-play. I do it to myself. It's in my own damn vault. And even though it's paint by numbers, it's still fun. Like, these skulls are really interesting, and I took enough photos with variety to stay interested, and it's just little bangers, it's just little nuggets, mini paintings between 30 and an hour and a half generally. And I love the idea of like this sort of progressive evolution of understanding. Like, now I understand the anatomy way more, and so I could, you know, go faster and not have to look at the reference because I know where the shadow is, or this underjaw, or the cavity of the nose. It's just all very fun to repeat something and learn. So if you're a painting nerd like me, I think it's fascinating to immediately switch this to black and white. I love the colors, but for a second, let's talk about the values, how dark this skull is, you know, how much contrasty this skull looks compared to this one, or, you know, just how I arranged those values. My strategy of mixing 4 or 5 values for each color. You know, this one is my least favorite. This one is low contrast, but it's beautifully painted, I think. And so it's just different styles. And I think, again, this is like a cool poppy painting. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of all the colors. I went through and executed it, and it was a fun project, and now I have this awesome painting. By the way, I think I'm making prints. If you stayed to this end and are watching, comment Scully, and that way I'll know you want a print, and there'll be a 15% off on the prints if you use code Scully. That might come out in a few weeks. Anyways, it was a great exercise to, you know, control values in this sort of controlled object in different ways. What I paint all the time, portraiture. So it was valuable, very fun. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Check out Patreon if you want all these awesome images, because that's actually a weirdly thing I'm proud of the photos I took. Just permanently good images. I don't want to paint or draw a skull for quite a while. But stay tuned, subscribe, hit the button, comment, ask some questions. I'm always looking at the comments, but see ya in the next video.